to find out the okapi is actually related to the giraffe. So both okapis and giraffes, they do have the same skull structure, as well as a very long tongue able to wrap around tree branches, almost like a finger, and pull off those leaves. Over to the left-hand side here, we're going to see those saddle-billed storks. Now these storks do stand about 5 feet tall and have a wingspan of up to 9 feet. They are not going to communicate using vocalizations, but rather a rattling of their beaks. Now we can tell the males from the females because male saddle-billed storks are going to have brown eyes, while the females have bright yellow eyes. Now a little bit farther up ahead to the left, standing up on that rock ledge, we're going to see the black rhinoceros. Now aside from moms and babies, these black rhinos, they're extremely solitary creatures. Even though he looks pretty big, the black rhino is actually among the smallest of the rhinos, only weighing about 3,000 pounds. Now up on the hill to the right here, we're going to see a couple of those greater kudu. Now we know these ones here are females, and that's because they do not have any horns. It's going to be the male greater kudu that grows long black horns up to 6 feet in length. Another good look at that rhino over to the left there. Now we are super lucky to even catch a glimpse of this black rhino today, and that's because there are only about 5,000 left in the world. So people do poach them for their horns, believing they have medicinal or magical properties. But really, their horns are made out of keratin, which is the exact same thing as eating your fingernails or your hair. Now over to the left here, kind of hiding back there in the bushes, you might notice a couple of those rust-colored forest antelope back there. Those are the bongos. Now bongos are known as the ghosts of the forest because usually they're very rarely seen. They are fairly shy and reclusive in nature, usually got hidden deep within the thickets of the forest. We are now making our way out towards the Safi River, where I'm hoping we'll get the chance to see the Nile hippopotamus. Now these hippos do spend majority of their day submerged in water, and they do this to keep cool under the hot African sun. They do have the ability to hold their breath for up to 8 minutes at a time, so I'm hoping we get lucky and they find their way to the surface. Now, looks like there are 2 just below the surface behind us on the right, but let's see if we can't find a couple more as we pull around the river. Now these hippos, they are very large. On average, adult males, they do weigh up to 5,500 pounds, but they have been known to grow much larger than that. Over to the left-hand side here, we are going to see a group of hippos, which is what we call a group. Now females are much more likely to form floats than males. They're going to be a little bit more social. Now, as you may have noticed, their ears, their eyes, and their noses are all right at the top of their heads. This does allow them to stay almost completely submerged while still being able to use all of their senses. Even though they do spend majority of the Nile crocodile is the largest species of crocodilian in Africa, growing to be as long as a giraffe is tall, between 16 and 20 feet from the tip of their nose to the tip of their tail. Even though their diets normally consist of just fish, they will eat anything that crosses their path up to 2 times their size. Now these crocodiles, they are ectothermic, which means they do rely on outside factors to help them regulate their internal body temperatures. When they start to get just a little bit too warm, you will see them take a dip into the river, but you might also see them start to open and close their mouths. Now some people, they see this as a threat of aggression, but it's really just them trying to release a little bit of that heat. Both the males and the females will actually gently roll their eggs in their mouths to help their babies hatch. And once those babies have hatched, mom is very, very protective. So she's not going to leave that nest for upwards of 3 months, not even to go find food for herself. We are now going to be making our way out towards the savanna grasslands. And unlike all the animals you saw back in Little Ituri Forest that use their camouflage to hide from predators, the animals animals we're going to be seeing out here on the savannah, they do rely heavily on their speed and agility to evade those predators. Now, directly off this curve down here to the right, we are going to see these light gray antelope. These are the white-bearded wildebeest, also known by their African name, gnu, spelled G-N-U. And this is after the noises they make. They do sound just a bit like grunting noises. Now, they are migratory animals, so every year about 1.5 million will travel between 500 and 1,000 miles to find more food and water. And this is commonly known as the Great Migration. So they're going to follow the rain patterns to find the freshest grass. Now, over to the right here, we are going to see this giraffe. And it looks like we will see the rest of the tower a little bit farther up ahead to the left. Now, these giraffes, they are the tallest animals. At birth, they do stand about 6 foot tall. And full size, they do stand 18 to 20 feet in height. Now, if you notice the pattern on their coats, it does look just a little bit like a jagged jigsaw puzzle. That's how we know it's the Maasai giraffe, as opposed to reticulated giraffes that do have a more net-like pattern on their coats. Now, over to the left there, on by those bamboo stalks, we're going to see a couple of those African wild dogs, also known as painted dogs because unique markings on their fur. Now, they do look just a little bit like the furry friends we have back at home, but these guys are very, very different. They are actually the most successful hunters of land mammals, with a hunting success rate between 80 and 90%. And this is due to their ability to hunt in packs and run their prey to exhaustion. Now, over to the left here, we're going to see those cattle with the very large horns. Those are the Ankole cattle. We're going to get a really good look at that tower of giraffes back there. Now, unlike their cousin the okapi, where only the males have those skin-covered horns, for the giraffes, both the males and females do have them, and those are called ossicones. Now, those Ankole cattle we saw back there are also known as Watusi cattle, named after the people that first domesticated them. And even though their horns do look pretty heavy, they're actually fairly light, only weighing about 3 to 5 pounds each. And that's because their horns, they are primarily hollow. So they are made up of a honeycomb-like structure on the inside, which does allow for blood to circulate throughout their horns, disperse heat, and ultimately cool down those cattle. They're basically like built-in radiators. Now, these giraffes here, they will spend a good 20 hours of their day just eating, and they're only going to sleep for about 20 minutes a day. However, they are not going to do this all at once, but rather in very short increments. So they will sleep for as short as 30 seconds at a time. They can sleep while they're standing, they can sleep while they're eating, they can sleep doing just about anything. Now, that giraffe that we just passed back there on the left, they were actually taking a nap. You might have noticed their mouth was moving, their tail was moving, but they were just staring off into space. They were taking a little morning power nap there. Now, up ahead on the right, as we make our way around this curve, we're going to see a couple more of those white-bearded wildebeest. But we're also going to see a couple of those smaller-sized antelope at the top of the hill. Those are springbok. Now, springbok get their name from their ability to spring 6 feet in the air and 13 feet forward when frightened. They are among the smallest of the antelope. That's as big as they're going to get. However, despite their small size, they can still reach speeds of up to 55 miles per hour. So their little legs, they can definitely move. Now, these darker colored antelope up ahead on their right, these are going to be the sable antelope. Now, the sable antelope is actually the icon of Harambe Wildlife Reserve, and that's because they're extremely noble and resilient creatures. So they're one of the few who actually fight back their predator to protect the herd. Now, the herd is led by a dominant male, but it's actually going to be a dominant female that tells that dominant male where to go. Now, these larger sized antelope, both to the left and the right here, these are going to be the Patterson's elands. On average, adult males, they do stand about 6 foot tall at the shoulders, and that's not including their heads and horns. Now, despite their large size, they can still jump about 6 to 8 feet straight up in the air. It's gonna be baby Ivy and her mom, Hazel. She's like, get over here. Now, mandrill monkeys, they are the largest of the monkeys. On average, adult males, they do weigh up to 100 pounds, while the females, they're only gonna weigh about 30. She's starting to get more and more adventurous. When she was the African elephant, and we can tell it's the African elephant because of the shape of the ears. So their ears do actually loosely resemble the continent of Africa, as opposed to Asian elephants that do have a smaller shaped ear. Now, it is safe to assume the elephant out there is a male, and that's just based on his size and the fact that he's out there all by himself. And that's because elephants are very social creatures. However, when the males reach maturity at about 14 years of age, they will leave their herd to venture out on their own. Now, sometimes they will form a loose herd called a bachelor herd, which is basically just a couple of dudes being dudes. Now, these elephants, they are the largest land mammal. On average, adult males, they do weigh up to 6.5 tons. That is 13,000 pounds. Their diets do consist of about 300 pounds a day, and they will eat anything from twigs, leaves, roots, and fruits. But another important staple in their diet is red clay, which is what we just passed through on both the left and the right back there. Elephants do like to eat that clay, and it will provide them with essential nutrients and minerals that they wouldn't normally get in their diets. Now, elephant herds, they are led by an alpha female. Noise, it's actually 1 or 2 octaves lower than we can hear as humans. So elephants could really be having conversations all day long, and we wouldn't even know it. Now, much like humans, elephants do have very complex emotions. So they're able to identify when one of their own is sick or injured and needs their help. They do grieve the loss of loved ones, being the only other mammal to actually hold funerals. And elephants, they hold grudges. They're extremely intelligent, have amazing memory, so when someone has done them wrong, they are definitely not going to forget about it. Now, over to the left here, we are going to see the greater flamingos, including those 2 baby ones walking around. Now, the greater flamingos, they are the tallest as well as the lightest pink of all the flamingos. And they do get that pink tint from the shrimp brine and algae heat that is very high in beta-carotene. As you can see, they're actually born gray there. Now, we do call a group of flamingos got one walking in the middle there. Now, unlike other cats in Africa, the cheetah is diurnal, which means they are more active during the built for speed, with an elongated spine, a very long tail they use like a rudder to help them change direction while running, and claws that do not retract. So they're able to get the absolute best traction on the ground when they're reaching those high speeds. Now, out to the right here, we are going to see that ostrich standing right by the truck. But you might also notice the baby white rhino standing out there right next to Mom. Let's see if we can't get a better look as we pull around here. Now, we know that ostrich there is a female, and that's because she's fairly dull in color. It's going to be the male ostrich that has the bright black and white feathers. Ostriches are the largest birds, however they are not able to fly. They can run about 40 miles per hour, covering between 10 and 16 feet in a single stride. And they will use their large wings to help. Now, they will use their tusk as well as their feet to dig those out. But sometimes when they're feeling lazy, they will just borrow those burrows from other animals. He's having a great time in the mud there. Oh, sorry. Did I disturb you? Keep going. Now over to the right, we'll get a much better look at this baby white rhino here. Now, white rhinos, they do not get their name from their color, but rather a miscommunication of the Afrikaans language. So their name does come from the Afrikaans word white, meaning white, and this does refer to their broad square mouth, as opposed to the black rhino that has a more triangular, pointed upper lip. Now, also unlike their cousin, the black rhino, the white rhino is very social, and they are slightly larger, weighing about 5,000 pounds. Now, rhinos do have excellent hearing, with ears that can turn into other products such as cheese or even soap to sell for a profit. And because of this new source of income, they no longer have to rely on the wildlife for the habitats in the area. So not only are these goats helping and sharing with our family and friends all that we've learned and all the changes we've
Alright, let's keep walking. You can see the waterfalls. Or the gorilla eating and stuff. I didn't mean to call him. Just carrying it around. I don't know what to do with it, but it's supposed to be good. I'm just gonna sit down and eat it. Oh, mama. Interesting. I did not know the first part about the fibers. When people did in the Civil War, they boiled bark. There's a little one. There's the little one. Sitting underneath the mom.
No, right? Unless you got his tooth.
And look, tossing some out because it's not the pieces you want.
Oh, he's spoiled.
One bite out the other.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay, so that's an asshole.
Look at that. Oh, is he gonna kill it? Eat it. Right on. Nope, not as good. Not as good as the lettuce.
Literally is taking one bite off it every day and tossing it down.
That's hilarious.
They're making that.
Yep. You got your nesty.
That's commitment.
Oh, you were busy.
Did you get left behind? These are all male children.
All the way across the theater. As I said, have the cameras out, but listen close when he flies. See, owls, they are super quiet, almost silent when they fly, so they can sneak up on the prey. You probably won't hear a thing. You ready, JJ? All right, you're looking in the right direction, calculating that flight, and looking in the bushes. Owls get distracted very easily.
Oh my god! I like that!
Excellent flight. I love that.
Like that. Okay, so now you got your crown of golden feathers. You got your treats. You've been working on building up your trust. Try it. If it doesn't work, I'll do it. It worked.
Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing. We'll show that off at least one more time as he makes his way over here. There we are.
And the wingspan is cool, but they have a really important purpose, right, Corey? I mean, they're kind of really awesome and very integral to the environment in Africa where they're found. So you see that giant beak he's got? It's razor sharp on the edge, and it helps them to open up the carcasses of animals that have died in the wild.
I get set up so we can get pictures too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Designated
Yep,
vehicle.
go ahead and face each other, make that big loop. Yep, face inward. There we go. We are set up. Lucy is going to set up in the back. All right, a little bit harder flight this time, though. I think it'll work out. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Excellent job.
My name is Ellen, just like Adam said. And these two beautiful girls, hello, very nice. Yes, they are Amazon parrots, typically found in South and Central America. But these two, because they've grown up around people, yes, they've learned to mimic us. You can hear a little bit of that mimicry with the hello. But we also know some other things, right? You want to tell everybody your names? What's your name? Thank you, I love you too. Your name is? Molly. Yeah, Molly. And what's your name?
Gabriella.
Gabriella, very nice. She goes by Gabby for short. That's so sweet. So we don't just know our names, right? Oh, you calling the kitty? That's so sweet. Yeah, my parents might call it kitty. I'm not really sure. It's not the best idea, but it's still very sweet. But how about we show off something a little bit better? How about we sing our song? Want to sing about the farm? That's not about the farm.
No, it's a real quiet farm in the hillside.
No animals on that farm. You want to sing about the farm? That is your Spanish song. All right, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Yeah, hello. These two parents are allowed to do whatever they want. And sometimes, you know... That's so nice of you. Okay, there we go. Yeah, we just needed a little bit of momentum going there, right? What was that? Yes, you cheered her on very nicely. That was very good. Yeah, but we also have some other songs, right? You already heard a little bit of La Cucaracha, but how about we sing our song? Let's sing.
You are my sunshine, fly away, fly. You make me happy all the time. You'll never know how much I love. So please don't take my time away.
Oh, that's very nice. Yeah, we finally got that one out there. It's a very suspenseful version of You Are My Sunshine. But it's very nice. All right, we have one more song. How about you turn around this way? I love you too. Thank you. How about we sing in Spanish? You want to sing in Spanish? Yeah! And that's Molly and Gabby. Nice job!
Thank you so much, Ellen. And those parrots are super awesome, but most parrots never in the wild.
That's when something incredible happened. People took notice, they took action, cleaned up the waterways where the bald eagles fish, and stopped using chemical pesticide. DDT was a major cause of this.
Trust. They want to help reestablish the numbers of these beautiful birds out in nature through a breeding program, where they release more to join up with their wild counterparts so that one day we might get to see.
Out there, back here, this is Sam, our Toko toucan flying.
And no matter what it is, whether it's the blue-throated macaw, the bald eagle, or even a bumblebee, go out in nature and appreciate the things that you find. You'll create new stories and start awesome adventures or find animals that pique your curiosity.
Very well said. From all of us up here, especially our feathered friends, we'd like to leave with one last wish.
May your hearts take flight and your spirits soar forever.